science people! I'm here today to talk to you about cells. In biology, whenever we begin the discussion of cells, we usually start with cell theory. So cell theory states three things. The first one is that all living things are composed of cells, or at least a single cell. We have yet to find a living thing that is not made of cells. The second part of cell theory is that the smallest unit of life is a cell. We have not found any living things, any living organisms that are smaller than a single cell. So you can have a single-celled organism or you can have a multicellular organism. The third part of cell theory is that cells come from pre-existing cells. Life does not come from nowhere. Life has to come from pre-existing life. So a cell has to come from a cell. Now let's talk about the two types of cells that exist. There's prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Pro means before and eu means true. Let's think of karyote as meaning nucleus. So prokaryotes means before nucleus and eukaryotes means true nucleus. The prokaryotes have no nucleus in their cell. Eukaryotes have a nucleus. We can almost stop there. It could be that simple. Prokaryotes, no nucleus. Eukaryotes, yes nucleus. But let's go into a little bit more detail. Prokaryotes have no nucleus and they have no double membraned organelles. If you don't know what an organelle is, check out my video on cell organelles. But a prokaryote is a very primitive cell. If you want an example of a prokaryote, bacteria are prokaryotes. Because prokaryotes don't have a nuclei or nucleus and they don't have organelles, there can't be multicellular communication. So we will never get a multicellular prokaryote. So all multicellular organisms are in the domain eukarya. They are all eukaryotes. We have single-celled eukaryotes like amoebas and parameciums, and then we have multicellular eukaryotes like me and all of the animals and plants on this planet. So prokaryotes, no nucleus. Eukaryotes, yes nucleus. Eukaryotes can be single-celled or multicellular. Prokaryotes can only be single-cellular or single-celled. So we have the bacteria, which are going to fall under prokaryotes, and another group called archaea. Archaea is a very primitive single-celled organism. They're extremophiles. They usually live in incredibly hot or toxic environments. They live near volcanoes, thermal vents, hot springs. And so they live in conditions that are very similar to the conditions that were found on Earth billions of years ago. So prokaryotes, bacteria, and archaea, everything else is a eukaryote having a nucleus.